Support Act is a very special organisation. Since the late 90s, we have been the Australian music industry's charity of choice and are there to support musicians, crew and music workers when they have tough times, particularly if they can't continue to do their work through illness or injury.
I think Support Act, it's almost strange how they were really coming into the public consciousness for their fantastic work. Even before COVID, there was, I think, a much, the recognition of them was really spreading, and the uptake of using them and people talking about their services.
Support Act provides crisis relief as well as a range of mental health services, including our wellbeing helpline and prevention education training. We've delivered mental health and wellbeing education to thousands via our On My Mind workshop series in partnership with the Association of Artists, Managers and Crew Care and the financial support of the Australian Government through the Office of the Arts. Support Act has also trained hundreds in mental health first aid.
They've also given us the facility for us to train members of Crew Care, and we have almost 600 members now, with mental health wellbeing courses. And I think we've trained 127 people who are now up to the mark with how to look for people with problems and how to direct them to the right place to have those problems sorted.
And it does it in a musician speak way, in a way that we can connect with. It's not ever kind of condescending or preachy. It's just real. It's just what we need when we need it.
And I think what we really tried to set out to do is to provide some assurance that, in our industry, you're going to have a roof over your head and food on the table, and those absolutely essential bills will be paid.
With the lockdown, the COVID lockdown, the roles become obviously much more important. So many more people are out of work and struggling.
And that's kind of where we came in. To be that complete backstop so that we didn't see people in our industry kind of falling over the edge.
At the start of this COVID crisis, we put together a 30-page document which was about building crisis medical accommodation near hospitals. Because we take a place of one purpose, like I said, and turn it into a place of another purpose. So we build cities for people. We build cities that people inhabit so they can take a piss, they've got power, they've got water, they're safe.
The fact that we've been able to get the support of the Australian Government through the Office of the Arts to start delivering our COVID-19 Crisis Relief Fund. And to date, we've given out a significant amount of money to people who work in music who have been doing it tough.
And it wasn't just some name and some sticker on a guitar case. It was a really powerful, action-ready team. And that was just awesome. I felt really proud, even though I'm not, I don't work at Support Act.
It feels in a strange way that the COVID-19 pandemic really brought the entire industry together, from independent artists to major labels and promoters and crewing companies around the country. Everyone was hit by the pandemic, and that emergence of a real sense of community, I guess, galvanized an often fragmented industry behind the work that Support Act was doing. We just became a unifying cause in a lot of ways.
I mean, on major events, you can be responsible for 90 to 100 crew touring and 100 to 200 locals, so you're administering a couple of 100 to 300 people a show directly. And then your responsibility is for the venue and the safety of patrons and their realities,
That's what I love about our crew. They can deal with any kind of thing that gets thrown at them.
And if you're working outdoors and you're building a city for 60,000 people who inhabit, and you're building a stage and you're working at heights and you've got cranes, and usually, say if you're building a stage for U2, you've got 2 to 3, 50 to 100 ton cranes out there with jibs up in the air. You're dealing with lightning, you're dealing with rain, you're dealing with cold, you're dealing with heat, you're dealing with, exhaustion, you're dealing with truck rollovers, you call it, we can make it up. You're dealing with power failure,
There's always going to be times when things go wrong. You rock up and the venue's not open, or the venue's there, but the house crew aren't there.
So, I mean, be standing in a crowd with AC/DC in Wellington when the music stops, And then the local inspector of police is going, I think we should cut the show early. And you're like, no, I don't think we should. Because if we do, it's called a riot. I think we should play a little bit later.
Well, I guess what I've missed the most is just playing with the band, just getting together in a room with the rest of my band and playing music. I've been working through, famous Mickey Baker jazz book, because I've been trying to get my fingers into these shapes of some new chords.
Musicians do live a life where sometimes there's plenty of work around and sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes you get paid on time. Often you don't get paid on time.
Thankfully, because of that, the love we've received in in fundraising for us so that we can respond to the demand, the kind of voices that are stepping up to champion the work that we do in mental health. It's been an incredible period. But this year we've really sought to mobilise the support of music lovers around Australia. And with our Oz Music T-shirt Day campaign this year, we reached out to as many artists as we possibly could.
We just know they're so legit and so good to us. So it's this meeting of something we already love doing with something we really need to highlight.
Including our two ambassadors, Keith Urban and Missy Higgins, to say, hey, we really need to mobilise music lovers.
I love Ozband T-shirt Day so much. It's a chance to sort of rep with purpose.
What's something about Oz Music T-shirt Day? It's wearing your colours with pride.
And hence why with Oz Music T-shirt Day this year, we were saying, music lovers, if you want to see your favourite artists continue and you want to see roadies building incredible experiences.
The relationship between the performers and the crew is crucial. I always say our crew, they go to work before us and they finish later. They work longer hours.
They are your brothers and sisters every day you go to work because you live with them, you breathe with them, you eat with them, you sleep with them, sometimes when you share a room. And it's the spirit of camaraderie.
We love our crew. We've got, over the years, we've had a number of people that we've worked with who are like regulars, and it's like an extended family.
We inhabit places with capacities from 5 to 70,000 people and change a place of one purpose into a place of another purpose and then give it back to them when we finish with it.
Your survival in the music world, much like the acting world, it really relies on your band of friends who support you and the industry that you work within that supports you. And of course the audiences too. But in the downtimes, it's the friends that are there to support you, I think.
The people that inhabit this planet and work in this industry are some of the finest human beings I've ever met. And when you look at their capabilities, I mean, I talk about a mate of mine, Opie, who works for the Stones, he's their production manager. The Stones said they wanted to go to Cuba and do a show in Havana. Havana, you could be jailed 5 years ago for listening to the Rolling Stones in Havana. Havana has no power, it has no generators, it has no portable toilets. There's not a stock of toilet paper, there's not a major catering company, there's no major labour company, there's not a big trucking company. It's like cranes, stuff. So because it was still under an embargo from the States, he took everything via Mexico and shipped it in to Havana, did a show with the Stones and left a lot of the infrastructure there as a gift to their government. There's a guy that thinks on his feet.
I think it's really important at gigs to thank the people, acknowledge the people who helped put the show on. That's something I always try to do, because the show is not just about the people on stage. There's a whole lot of people behind it.
The hard work continues. We've still got quite a lot to do as an organisation and as an industry to recover and build back, I guess.
And they keep responding, They keep responding so beautifully. They are the only organisation in this country that you can go to and know you're going to get help, and they're going to care about it.